Hey everyone.
Howdy,
We're-
howdy.
Sorry, we're a little late. We were having a debate about Atlassian renaming the word issues. And so there's a couple of polls out there on the internet that are circulating the webs, and we wanted to
It,
talk. We wanted to get some insight from Jens.
I think it had to do with last night's Jira duty because we were actually kind of closing with that last night and went over time, and I'm sure those bits kind of strayed out everywhere, and somebody must have heard about it, and
Yeah,
so
no, definitely. So I think it's going to be pretty impactful. I think if and when Atlassian decides to do this, if they're going to do this, when they do this, I don't think it's going to be an easy lift. I think it's going to be something that they're going to have to really seriously think and consider. And it still breaks my heart. Like, I don't know, like being an Atlassian user for the last 7 years, I feel like I get it. There's an untapped market, and it's a blue ocean for them. But at the same time, you still got to do right by the people that got you there. And
yeah. But considering that we're in the business of change, we should be used to these things.
we are definitely in the business of change, but also it is a competitive market. So it's going to start becoming a price factor, right? When all the tools have all the same features and have all the same flexibilities and have all the same capacities, then you're looking at it just from a price perspective.
All right, Sarah's probably with you on the you can pry issue from my cold dead hands type of thing.
I did it offer. You don't gotta touch it, right? Like, just if it ain't broke, this is a classic case of it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, our people, our new market, like the people that are trying that Atlassian's trying to market, are they really that like? Is issues that much of a non-starter for them that are considering changing it?
I think you want to make things as easy as possible. And you've been in situations where you're trying to teach something new to somebody, and the minute that somebody doesn't get something, and it just kind of sticks there. It's almost like the bit of irritation inside of an oyster that gets bigger and bigger, and it turns out into this like monster pearl. And
Or
so,
maybe you just teach it better. I don't know, just a thought.
yeah, well, how many people are still trying to wrestle with the idea that Jira calls, the base unit of Jira is projects. So, and defining what a project is.
Yeah. No, I know, I get it, but we'll see. I'm gonna be actively watching from the sidelines because this is, I think, in my opinion, gonna have a huge impact to me and to the rest of the Atlassian community here. So I am going back on community.atlassian.com. So let's re-kick this off. So welcome everybody for joining us. Jens, thank you for carrying over. This is your no, now you got me doing the Y with the J. So this is not Jira duty, it's Jira duty. I try so hard to make sure I make my J
Yeah,
sound like a
it's
Y.
it's it's tough for you because the J's mean
It's an
three
H for
different
me.
things to you, right?
It's Hira
And
duty.
it's hero duty, yeah,
Hira
right.
duty. Yeah, my
Yeah,
J's make
welcome,
an
welcome.
H
Hey,
sound.
there we go. That's what we should name issues. They are heroes for
Hiras.
me.
That goes back to Rodney's Juras. Like, let's just call him Juras. So Hiras. Let's just call him a Hira.
So
But
welcome to
anyways,
hero duty.
yeah. So welcome back to Jira Duty. This is part 8 of the live Q&A where we're going through Atlassian community questions. This series and this episode and this entire series is made possible by my good friends over at Resolution, who have generously and graciously decided to sponsor this entire series of live streams. So make sure you check out the link in the description because they don't only have 1 or 2 or 3, but they have many Atlassian apps. And we're highlighting Not Another Stand-Up. I'm not sure where my pointing is at, but you see that little astronaut, Not Another Stand-Up app made by Resolution. And we actually got the good banner today. Thanks. So thank you very much, Bob. All right. With that out of the way, let me share my screen and we're just going to jump into it. As I mentioned, we had a little bit of a late start because we had a very important conversation that needed to be had about the future of Atlassian. And so now we're going to go back into community questions and let's see what kind of damage we can do today. And unfortunately, our Sarah has abandoned us due to another debate that is happening in our
Yeah, she's
country.
watching. She's watching the other debate.
I watched the first debate with Sleepy Joe and sorry, not Sleepy Joe anymore, with Donnie and man, does Kamala have a nickname yet?
None that will stick, and
None will stick.
we're gonna keep the politics out.
Yeah.
So
I always just use the nicknames for everything. But anyways, the last presidential debate, I watched like half of it. I'm like, I'm gonna go do something else with my life. So I didn't even bother this time. All right. So Sarah's here though, and Rodney is playing D&D, and so he's here in spirit as well. She's not camera ready. Sarah, I thought that's what we had the filters for last time. All right. Let's jump into the first question here. I did also expand my reach a little bit more, so we'll see if we get different kinds of questions, but let's see what happens. Can I query when a custom tick box is checked and who updated that tick box? So how do I query all the tickets that were approved using a custom tick box and any boards that I have? I'm assuming, no man, this was a hard one, man. How do you normally answer these kind of questions, Bob, when there's so many questions, so much ambiguity in the question itself?
any boards we have? Okay.
Because I'm assuming that they're using like a checkbox custom field,
I
or
think
are
they're
they
using a checkbox custom field.
right? So how do you query all the checkboxes? So you wouldn't see who updated it, at least not in a JQL.
No, it's just whether or not they've been selected.
Yeah.
So
So let's do that. So let me pull up Jira. I can never spell the name of my own company. That's always a problem, right? So in Jira, if you have a custom field, actually, let me go to the custom fields first and grab a custom field that is of the type checkbox. So if you have a checkbox type, oh boy, I don't know that I have any. Do you ever use checkboxes? It's not one of my favorite.
very, very rarely.
I have a
I mean,
radio
if
button.
I'm doing something that is most of the time, if I want like the impact of selection, it's usually a radio button, but not checkboxes too often.
All right, I got an HR sensitive one here. So what you're gonna do is once you know the name of your field, right? You'll do your task search. Let's just start getting used to it, because you don't do an issue search, right, Jens? You do a task search now.
We don't know yet.
So we'll do our work item search. None of it's gonna sound natural other than the issue search. Like this just has to be. Look, here's one place we're going to have to change it. Like, what are they going to change this to? Just view all? View all what? All right. HR sensitive is not empty. That would be the search, right? So this is going to return back things that are basically set. So basically, I'm going to submit. I'm going to go hello, or I'm just going to tag this person. You should be able to use JQL to search for issues. See, again, it's a natural language. Like, you just can't change this entire language. If that's what you're used to. If your name was changed to Peter tomorrow, it would have been natural for a while. Oh, yes, it's just trolling me, isn't he?
Yep.
Okay. See, like even just in the natural conversations though. So search for issues. So you should be able to use that have your field that have your checkbox checked. Simply do your field is not, and that should return any issue that has the checkbox, a checkbox value filled out. Now, to figure out who clicked on it or who selected the value, you need to go into the issue. I'm gonna like emphasize issue every time that I have to say issue, just so that Jens knows how many times I say issue in a sentence. All right. So yeah. So do you have to go into the issue?
He called it a ticket, so you know.
He called it an item, but item doesn't.
No.
Right?
I'm not talking Jens. I'm talking the guy that wrote the question.
This guy called it a ticket.
He called it a ticket.
He called it a ticket. So maybe I like ticket. Ticket sounds like a really good option for me. Okay. So now you got to figure out who selected the value. And you need to go into the ticket, right? And go to the activity section of that issue, and you'll see in the history who, wait, is that activity? Activities? Yeah, activity and then history. Yep, I got that right. Who made the who who provided the value? How do you feel about that one?
Sounds good.
Yep. Answer. Okie dokie. Next up, trying to add a comment using Jira. Oh, okay. My wife's not on. My wife's my API gal. How are you? How are you feeling with the APIs, Bob?
I could do something. Okay.
You want to
Trying to add
skip
a
it?
comment.
You wanna look at it, or you want to skip it?
Uh, if you want to
Anybody
skip it, that's fine.
anybody on the call? Let's at least read it. Let's see if there's anything that's easy. So I'm trying to use the bulk API edit endpoint to add a comment. Here's my code. Import the request. Oh boy, that's okay. Where's the wife? I need the wife. The wife knows all this. This is what is the question? I am able to do fixed version and priority at the same endpoint. Issue above seems to be the issue above. See, now this is now where I'm okay with them renaming issue, because this is now overloading issue. Right? Like, this is not the issue as an issue type, but this is like the problem. I don't know enough of this to use it, and to set up this whole thing to be able to do API calls, it's not something that's going to take us 2 minutes. So I say we skip it.
Okay.
Sorry, Umits 2009. All right, let's go over to this one. How can I display the sum of values in a given Jira field on a Confluence page? Ooh. Hi there. I'm in the process of migrating my team from Excel to Jira for our 2025 roadmap. Jens is still on. We should just tell him to go use Jens's app. Jens, does your app do increment? Sarah wants to call it a card. We already have card. We use card.
Trello.
No, but the card is technically the card itself. When you're looking at the issue in the
Right.
board view, it's technically a card. Jens, right here, product ideas, man. Being able to do a roadmap and some roll-ups. This is where we get requirements from. All right, so we have a custom Jira field for all of our projects, which are defined at the story level. For help visualizing the capacity of our leadership, I need to be able to display the current sum of our custom field against our capacity number. For a quick example, I'm looking at what would be the way to display the sum of the values and the way to. Okay, so basically, it's just asking if you pull the issues into Confluence, can you sum them up? The answer is going to be no, right?
Yeah, the basic answer is no.
But we do have the advanced roadmaps. Oh, look at that. If JXL can do it, and then it can do Confluence.
Yeah. Or if you could do it through JXL. You could, I'm already thinking that you probably want to have a calculated field. And this is where you start running into like script runner territory.
Or automation rules. If they're set up in a parent-child relationship, you might be able to sum them up. There's a sum function as an automation rule that you can roll up you can roll up the children to a parent-child. I can't speak English. You can roll up the children to a parent.
Right.
So I'm going to tell them you got a couple of options. You have a few options. So first of all, welcome to the Atlassian community. You have a few different options, but the bad news is that the way you are trying to do it isn't possible. But here are your options. Number one, you can use an app like JXL, which I'm told integrates with Confluence, and it should perform this rollup for you. Number two, if you are on Jira Cloud Premium, you can use a jar and pull in your field, there is a roll up function built into that. 3, should I proceed with the option to do the sum up using parent child and automation rules?
Maybe, but I don't know if this is a parent child thing.
It's not, but they would have to refactor the thing to be it. Because I mean, technically, we don't have enough information to see the issue types, task types, right? But assuming that each one of these were a different issue type, we might be able to do something. But even I guess, can you roll up?
These are generic totals. This isn't
yeah, these are just generic totals. So there's
or something defined in a release or something like that.
Yeah, I would say look at automation rules, but maybe it's not worth mentioning then, because it would require them to do a lot of refactoring. I think the easiest thing to do would be, well, even the roll up in Jira Cloud Premium, though, it does roll up from the child to the parent, so it's not like it auto sums for you. So I think it might be worth mentioning that in a parent-child relationship, of course, to use this, your issues need to roll up to a parent. This parent should be any issue that is above your current issue that you are using, not pictured in your screenshot. For example, your stories can roll up to an epic, and the epic would have the rolled up number. Okay, and option 3 then is similar to option 2. You could use an automation rule that sums up your custom field and places the summed up value in a parent issue above your current issue type. That's as close as I can get this. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be good.
All right. Cool beans. So 2 good, 1 struck out. But that's how we roll sometimes, folks. All right, next one. Ooh. I should probably get off the Confluence ones. Is there a way to get pre-populated text like a template in the page comments in Confluence? I want it so that when users go to the comments on a Confluence page, they're able to select a template that has pre-populated text in their comment. Why in the world would you want to do this, Becky?
Wait.
So they want to go to I like how the conversation on the side is still going with like the debate from the last chat and the last stream.
I think Sarah's got the right thing. Usually when I see instruction text on a Confluence page, it's because I'm using a template.
But that's the page. That's okay. That's doable. But this is in the comments.
This is true.
And canned responses is a Jira thing, not a Confluence thing that I'm aware of.
Right, and that's not even.
So let's make our way downtown and let's see what Confluence does or doesn't do for us. So if I'm inside of a page here, this part, Becky's basically saying she just wants to get the conversation rolling down here already. I don't think that this is possible. I don't think that this is a feature.
No, I don't think it's possible.
Should we propose that maybe she can maybe she can create a template for the page that already contains the instructions?
Yeah, but even then, I think that's completely separate from comments.
The question to ask is what her use case is. Yeah, this is a good question. Maybe I should ask her, what are you trying to accomplish here? Because yeah, this capability, as far as we know, there is no app, and then there is no. Let's welcome Becky first. I should have a pre-canned welcome to the Atlassian community.
I've often thought about having a text box by the side. Just
Sarah,
copy
the
and
world is
paste.
not the same without you. Get over here. When is this debate over? All right. What use case are you trying to do? Accomplish? Get? I'm here in chat. I know you're here in chat, but it's not the same without the smile. Watch her send me a smiley emoji.
I think it's going to be a huge string of smiley emojis.
All right. So what's the use case you're trying to do here? This functionality isn't built into Confluence, and I don't think
There's a marketplace app that does this.
there's a market that does this. The closest you could probably get include your instruction, pre-text, or your comment as part of the page body of a template that your team could then refer to.
Yeah, looking it up, there are canned responses, not just native in JSM, but there are apps that do canned responses for comments
but in
for
Jira. In Jiraville. Yeah, no, Jira I'm very aware of, but not here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Becky. We tried.
Womp womp.
Can we call that still as a win?
Well, you responded, and so it's, you were friendly. You welcomed her.
All right, Roadmap 3.0 question. There's a Roadmap 3.0. What happened to 2.0 and 1.0? Ooh, Trudy. Dude, Trudy responded to me last night.
Did she?
She did. She's like, thank you, Alex. We learn something new every day. And I'm like, oh boy. Not the person I want to go pick a fight with. Oh, Trudy. All right. I purchased the Roadmap. Oh, okay. So this is a plugin. So I wonder if we can find the plugin so that they can go talk to him. But yeah, it looks they're in zone one. All right, let's read the questions. I purchased Roadmap 3.0 solution early August and prior to Roadmap exclusive becoming. What the heck? Is this even the right tool? I've been using Roadmap 3.0 and now the site appears inaccessible. Should I have transitioned to the exclusive solution, given that I purchased a 3.0 solution prior to the next release that they released was included in my cost? I hope the description makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna upvote this one because
Trudy's got it answered completely.
This does not sound.
There's not much more that we can
add
contribute.
to this.
Yeah.
Where did she say jar is not a thing? Jar is most definitely a thing. This is what we have to ask Jens next time. Jens, what do you call the plans? I'm trying to trademark here Jira Advanced Roadmap, the jar, but everybody's against me on that one.
I'm
not gonna lose.
Alex has to fight against the tide.
And then the other debate that we have to have, Jens, is summary. Can we get that renamed to like be title? Anything but summary really is what's on the what are the options? Jens just call them plans. No,
Jens is saying plans.
I'm okay with plans, except the fact that when you go in there, you're in the timeline, which is then a more revamped. So is it called an advanced timeline? Because the whole reason it's called an advanced roadmap is because this used to be called a roadmap, and you would have the advanced roadmap, which is more powerful than the basic timeline, and this is the basic timeline. But over here inside your plans, you're still in the timeline, but it's the advanced timeline. So I'm okay with advanced timeline. So I can call it a JAT. But That's why I call it a jar, because it's before they renamed it or rebranded to Timeline, they were called roadmaps. Big fans of the jars are what you used to run your Java code in, right? Shut up, Ronnie. Ronnie's always trolling here. All right, let's see. Title: Seeking guidance on integrating Proton. Ronnie, where you at, man? This was
I
for
was
you.
gonna say we need Rodney on this one because
Ronnie, pull in for like 2 seconds. Ooh, this is a long one. I recently set up Proton for my organization. I'm very interested in exploring ways to integrate these services with Jira to enhance security, collaboration, and workflow. Specifically, I'd like to, how can I integrate Proton Mail with Jira for secure email notifications? Are there any plugins or add-ons available for integrating Proton VPN with Jira? Can I use Proton Calendar to schedule Jira issues? This is gonna have to be a third-party thing. I don't think that out of the box this is gonna work.
like a Zapier or I don't.
Well, like so I work with one of my sponsors from this summer was Yasun, right? So they make like an Outlook plugin that integrates really well with like the Microsoft 365 into Jira. So I think if any of this were to be possible, it would have to be like somebody had to go and create it, because I don't think they support it out of the box.
I think Rodney might have looked into this beforehand.
Should we drop a comment and say no dice? I like how he added his own labels and his own tags over here on the side.
Here's Rodney's more involved answer.
Long answer, no. I'm gonna welcome him to the Atlassian community. We'll go from there. Yeah. The short answer is that this functionality isn't supported natively. You could add, so you could add like a Proton mail handler, don't know? I'm assuming.
What?
So in Jira, you have your mail handlers over here on the system, which I'm assuming you could probably point to Proton. Or maybe I gotta go to global mail settings. But like in here, I'm sure there's a way for you to like set up mail servers and stuff, like your incoming and stuff. But at the end of the day, I think
that's about it.
Yeah,
no calendars, no drives.
Yeah, no VPN. Oh, I'll go in. It's disabled. Oh yeah, because I'm on the free. No wait, why is my
Rodney is kind of putting the kibosh on that because if you're trying to set up, Proton doesn't have IMAP or SMTP.
Some developer would have to create this as Proton doesn't follow unsecure protocols. Okay, I'll just leave that and we'll go to the next one. How Proton? I just like giving Google all my data anyway, so
yeah. For better or for worse, Google and Gmail and workspaces are probably the de facto.
Where's Sean in all this too, by the way? All right, how do I create a filter that shows all user stories and bugs in an initiative? Our company, ooh, I like this one. There you go. So Trudy's got you. We'll upload that one. Is there a way to do this? And yep. How come she can get the code in there? Mine just complains that I'm trying to hack the system. Whatever, but this is the right answer. Look, advanced roadmaps. Jar. You just put Jira advanced roadmaps. Jar. It's in the URL. Just saying, people. Jar. It's right there.
All right. Sarah's a little loopy tonight.
Sarah, you might have been drinking a little too much here for the debate.
I don't know. Maybe something happened in vice presidential debate bingo, and Sarah won or something like that, or the drinking game was
maybe
on point.
I was gonna say maybe every time that we say the word jar, Sarah's taking a shot.
or if we say the word issue.
All right, and as we're on the halfway point, folks, let me remind you that this episode is sponsored by my good friends over at Resolution. Make sure you check out the links in the description down below. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pull up the next question. So I'm skipping over one that's already answered. I'll show a list of all my Jira projects. I feel like this could have been a Google question, or this could have been Googled. Am I mean? So on Friday, I was going to lunch, and somebody asked me a question in Jira. Or they asked me something about Jira, right? And I was like, they literally asked me, how can I see an issue that's off, like that's no longer visible in my jar, right? And I'm like, Google it. Like, why are you asking me? Like, imagine if I had answered every Jira question out there, like you got to Google this stuff at some point, and then come talk to me if you don't find the answer. All right, why can I not mark my tasks complete in my task page? Trudy's not here. Okay. So the functionality, summary of the problems. This is beautiful. Look at this. This is a tester. Jeff is a tester. The functionality that allowed users to check the box next to the task and remove it from the incomplete list on my task page is no longer working. The hell is this? Dude, you gave me a... Okay, so this is on-prem?
No,
Hey.
it says standard.
This doesn't
And
look
it says
like
cloud.
this
So
doesn't look like cloud to me. I don't know that I've ever seen that page. We're gonna have to go hunting for that. So create a task and assign it to you in Confluence Cloud. Okay, so this is Confluence, so maybe a different tool. Oh, if I read the question, see my default always just think Jira. Okay, visit my task page, incomplete task. Check the checkbox on the left of the task refers to page. The expected result, the task is marked as complete and removed from the incomplete list. Actual result, the task remains and the checkbox is now that was checked is now unchecked. I wonder if this has to do with the permission on that page. That's the only thing I can think of.
trying to replicate.
Yeah, let's go replicate. So if we add a task here, let's go add tasks. Oh boy, macro task, action item. At Alex, you are such an amazing jar creator. And I hit update. That should create a task for me. Okay. And once I have that in there, where do you go? I don't even know where to go.
Yeah, that's I was looking for that myself. So he's going to his tasks page.
Yeah, but where the heck
Which
is
I
that?
get on the in Confluence, it's on the sidebar from the home tab.
Here.
Yeah.
But his view didn't look like this.
Well, he's obfuscating his view so that you don't see.
But it's, I mean, not even.
Yeah.
My radio buttons are oval and his are squared.
I think he's doing that from his profile page. Let me see.
Can you go over here? Personal space? No.
Nope, not profile.
Wait, there's a task section here though.
Yeah, same task.
I didn't even know that was there. That's kind of cool.
I think.
Oh, here. He's on this page.
Oh, okay.
And then here. So then he's checking it. And so, okay. Shouldn't have gone to complete? Is that what he's complaining about?
Yes.
Oh, look, it's unselected. Ooh, did we find a bug? I haven't completed it. I'm checking it. Is this just not the place where you go to complete something?
Yeah.
I mean, so, okay, so it doesn't do it here. But if I go over to tasks and I check it here, it crosses it out. So what do I see? Okay, and I got it done. And so if I go over here, And I go to tasks. It's still incomplete. Did we find a bug?
And maybe it's a bug.
This is a bug. Somebody confirm in the chat. Do you guys think that this is a bug? We're losing people like flies though. But somebody in the chat confirm. I think we found a bug. People just don't like my sense of humor here. Link, please. Oh, she wants a link. Link to what, Sarah? Link to the question? Avoid convolution. Use resolution. Sarah, you're funny. Or you just do it. I'm a full snack developer. Sponsored by Resolution. Right. I think we found a bug, Bob. Because
I would concur.
if we go back to tasks over here, but it's still open over here. This is a problem. So if I go to how in the world can I get this task completed? Because look, it crosses it out. And earlier I got a little pop-up. There it is. See, one task is completed. Are you not allowed to cross out your own tasks?
That defies
silly.
logic.
Yeah, like that would seem silly. But look, it's unchecking it here. Don't tell me you got to go to the actual page itself and check it off here.
Now that seems really, really silly.
That would be really, really silly. But it's checked there. And I'm going to go to my tasks first. It's not. And I'm going to go to personal settings and tasks. And it's still not done. This would be the worst case, that I have to go into the page, edit the page, check the checkbox, publish the page. Yes. Yes, with the troll, man. Okay, so I published a page and it's checked. And so if I go to my tasks, look, that's the only way to do it. Wow, that does not seem.
That does not compute.
Okay, I'm gonna go good news and bad news. Is he new? No, okay. All right. At Jeff. Good news. There's a workaround. If you go to the page where the task was captured and you edit the page, you can then. It was checked, I believe. It wasn't. Well, now it is. So yes, it is now checked because I published the page. So I'll redo it. Right. So if I come to my page here and I'm in edit, I'm gonna make a new task. Oops, I should have done at Alex. Show this demo again. And I publish the page. I'm gonna have a task, right? So I can go to. There's like 3 different ways to get there, right? But oops, I keep playing the damn gear. You can go here, show this demo again. I can check the checkbox here. It crosses it out. I get a pop-up here eventually that says they're done. But if I go anywhere else and come back to it, it's unselected. If I go over here to the personal settings and go to that task over here, and I check the checkbox here, it'll spin on me. And then it just leaves it as unselected, right? Now, if I go to the page itself, right, and I check the checkbox here, and then go back to my tasks, it's still there. And if I go to the tasks, it's still there. And so the only way that I've been able to get this to work is if I go into the page, hit edit, check the checkbox, and then hit update, right? Now it's checked again, right? This is no different than what we did earlier. But now, when I go to my tasks, it's gone. And if I go to my personal settings and I go to my task page over here, it's in the complete section. So now it's complete. But that's the only way it does it, right? Is if I publish the page. So the bad news is, okay, so you go to the page and you edit the page, then you can then check the checkbox for the task, and then you publish the page. Once the page is published, the task will go to the completed section. The bad news is that I think this is a Confluence bug. So should we submit a ticket to Atlassian? Like, is there
You want to?
is there a support place that we can? Is there a number we can call?
Well, actually, community leaders do have the ability to summon the Atlassian support team on a request. I don't know if this warrants it. I mean, I can throw something in here in and maybe reply to your reply. Actually, I don't see your reply yet. Oh, you haven't submitted it.
Yeah, I haven't. I was able to replicate your behavior, and I don't think that the workaround is viable or scalable. And this should work like intended. All right, I'll hit answer.
Hit answer. And do you want me to show the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just never done it.
I'm gonna. So at some point,
we'll just go with Jens' answer though. If only we had a tool to track things like a task tracker. Wait, you have a blue button? What's that blue button for?
The blue button is to have Atlassian support take a look at this. Take a look at this.
How come you have that button?
Because I've been an online community leader for quite a while.
Yeah. Maybe 18 Jira duties will get me there sometime.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe you'll get.
Have they tried Trello? Folks, you guys are missing the point. There's a potential problem with Confluence here. We're trying to make the product better. Because I did it twice, and it's on the internet. And everything on the internet is real, right? Sarah's asking, what's the difference between a task and an action item in Confluence? I don't think there's a difference.
There's not.
And that's again why we need unification on these words, right? That's what. Imagine if Atlassian called it an action in Jira. Action type. That would be funny. They have different macros. All right. Well, I'm gonna hopefully come back to this one because I'm gonna add the little eyeball here and watching and like it because this is an interesting one. I honestly think we found a bug. That's what I'm thinking. I try to replicate, and we could probably put in for Atlassian and tell them that we got it locked in at the 40 to 44 minute mark of this live stream. If they really wanted to see it in action. We got video proof. All right. Let's see. I don't want to answer any of those. Adding additional button on Jira. I love this. I love when I get these kind of questions. I just absolutely get so much joy in somebody asking me, like, can we just change the Jira UI? And I'm like, sure. Let me just call up my homie MCB and just tell him, like, hey, just add a new button. All right, team. We'd like to add a button to the left side of the create screen in the Jira ticket here. Next to the existing create button. The main goal of this requirement is to enable users to click on the Sparky AI on the create page which will then use an API to connect to our internal Sparky AI and automatically generate descriptions in the ticket when creating a Jira ticket. Could you please provide guidance on inserting a button in the Jira ticket? Share any relevant documentation. Please find the attached. What does Benjamin said? This is not possible out of the box. You might want to create a self-transition in your workflow that has a post function webhook to make a call to Sparky AI. I'm gonna respond with, if you're on Jira Cloud Premium, once the ticket's created, you can use Atlassian Intelligence to help you create your
Actually, it's on Data Center.
It's on Data Center. What the heck is
Yeah.
doing on Data Center?
I don't know.
Oh, what am I doing in Data Center? So then, is this possible over there? Because I know over there the rules are a little bit more crazy.
All right, so I am going to say something, and I'm hoping that Rodney is around to correct me. I know that it's possible to have custom JavaScript, but whether or not that would you be able to manifest that as a button, that's where I start talking out of my depth.
I'm gonna vote for this one though. I feel like Benjamin's answer here is valid. Like if you have a webhook, you might be able to make the call.
Yeah,
but we'll go with that. All right. Synced comments are not showing us public ones. Oh boy. How can I add autocomplete spaces in my custom dialogue? Which one do you like, Bob? I'm getting tired. You got 10 minutes. We probably have time for one or two questions. Should we go for this one? Doesn't have any. It sounds like a subjective one that we can respond to.
Which one? The
weekly executive report, best practices in Confluence. Okay. But it also sounds like it's going to be a long-winded answer. Is anyone using Jira Cloud without Atlassian Guard? Well, maybe we can answer that one.
Let's answer that one.
If you're using Jira Cloud with Atlassian Guard, what's the biggest challenge? You just have to manually add your users. and even then, not really, right? Because you could still do domain, approve any domain. So I guess the biggest challenge is like you have more control over how your users authenticate and are provisioned into Jira. Because they're still going to authenticate and they're still going to provision, but you have more control.
Right. I mean, basically, without it, with Atlassian Guard, you're able to provision them just through Skim, and as long as they're in the correct LDAP group, you map that group over. That would help out with product access. I think that's about it, isn't it?
Well, because without Guard, right? So I don't have Guard in my Jira. Over here. Oh crap! I'm in Confluence. Hold up, I'll be back. I need to switch accounts, and I'm exposing emails and stuff. Okay. Oh boys, I'm still in the wrong spot. Too many Jiras. So over here in your admin.atlassian.com, can I plan a question for tomorrow? Sarah, we should have people, our friends, go and put questions. All right, so in here, right? Do I have? No, I don't. Okay, so you don't own a domain, which is one thing, but okay. So if you don't own a domain, then can you still go to user access settings? Yeah. So in here, you can still put any domain. So you can still add domains. So this is what I'm saying. Like from a provisioning perspective, you just auto accept anybody who's in that domain, versus having control under that domain. They need to be in that Active Directory group, which is then synced into your Jira. So you have a little bit more tighter control as opposed to just point blank accepting anybody, right? That's from the provisioning perspective. And then from the authentication perspective, right, with your auth policy, you don't have any. So their username and password and just, right, and that's it. Versus having that SSO, having that extra like Okta or M365 two-step or MFA, right? Like you don't have that. I mean, you technically have the MFA now because Atlassian's pushing everybody, but you can opt out of it. So you're relying on just username and password. I think those are the only two drastic downsides that you get.
What about also deprovisioning?
That's another good one, right? So yeah, so okay, so then whenever a user leaves, if you don't have guard, then you just have to accept the defaults, which aren't as secure or convenient. I can't spell convenient either. Another pain point to not having guard is that when a user leaves your company, you have to go in and manually remove that user. Otherwise, you'll be paying a monthly fee for that user for as long as you forget to clean up your user list. So guard automates this. Since it's connected to your Active Directory. What else? I mean, again, it's not issues. Like you're not gonna have challenges. You're paying for the convenience. But I think one thing that we should look at is look at the pricing model so we can see what features you get. Whoa, I went dark. Here we go. So again, enforce single sign-on, so it's more secure. Auto provisioning, which we talked about. Authentication policies. This is new, but I'm not using it, so I don't know that I care for it. This one's interesting. So API token controls.
That's not that new.
But I said it's interesting, right?
Okay.
This one's interesting because any user could potentially get and pull an API token, and so here you can at least see those tokens, so you can revoke them.
Yeah, you can see the tokens and revoke them. So.
Yeah. But again, it's more really guard is just a more secure way of using Jira for your organization and minimizing risk. Check out all the features you get here. I'm just gonna link into this because that's like the best thing to go look at. Is you can go through it and see what you get or don't get. I mean, you can use Jira without guard. It's not a showstopper in any way, shape, or form. Sarah wants to call issues challenges, then we can accept it. Friggin' Sarah, how many drinks have you had, Sarah? Are you? Well, I guess if Donnie was the one that was on the podium there, you can do a drinking game with Donnie. I just don't get the debates. Like I was watching the debate. I've never seen debates, right? But the last debate that I was watching, like you asked them a question, and both of them are answering like way over there. It's like if you ask me a Jira question and I start answering about this one time I went to band camp. It's like, what does this have to do with one thing or the other? So I didn't get any value out of those debates. All right, we got 3 minutes left, Bob. Let's see. I think we're gonna wrap this one up here. I don't think we're gonna find another one that's gonna be easy. How do you migrate to Jira Cloud?
That's an easy one.
For those of you who have migrated from Jira Cloud from data center server, did you lift and shift? How long did it take? Would you recommend that method again? If it was a phased approach, what are the challenges? What should we do? 1 phase, right? 2 month. 3 yes. 4. What would you say is the biggest challenge with phase? Like overwriting data? Not really, right? Just data being out of sync? Or having data in 2 places? Or having teams in 2 places?
Actually, you haven't talked about apps. And if you're doing a phased approach,
Well, so that challenges on the apps, right?
Yeah.
Your apps are going to be a challenge. You have to maintain them in 2 different places.
Well, not only that, is it? Yeah, there may not be a cloud. Yeah, there may not be a cloud equivalent for your server apps, so you still have to see if the functionality can be done by something else. Oh, Jens is saying don't lift and shift. Oh, and Sean's here, and he says there is no 4, there are 2 3s.
There are 2 3s.
So you have to say for the first third and the second third.
Well, how many months? Months just depends on so many variables.
Yep.
You have like script runner, number of issues, number of
Apps.
projects, attachments, your apps, right? Just custom scripts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just so many different things. But what's the average, would you say? Like 6 to 12 months?
I don't I don't even give a guess unless you tell me those numbers that you're.
Yeah. Yeah. Without knowing this, it's hard to give a more accurate measurement of time. All right. How many people? Yeah. How many people are working the migration for you? So many variables. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I'm just gonna answer this one. It's sounds a little snarky, but you get what you get. This is what happens when you ask a question on the internet. Could be a day, could be 6 months. Somebody send Jens over to do your Jira migration. This guy can get it done in a day. All right, folks. I think we're gonna call it here. We're at a nice stopping point, an hour in. Appreciate you all taking the time and being on Jira Duty here. Just as a reminder, we do have another Jira Duty tomorrow, same time tomorrow. So if you enjoyed this, make sure you come back again tomorrow. And I do want to remind you that this episode is in this entire series of Jira Duties was made possible by my good friends over at Resolution. So make sure you check out those links in the description down below, as they have a lot of cool apps for the Atlassian ecosystem. Specifically, there's Not Another Stand-Up app that is displayed somewhere here in the banner. So thank you to Resolution. Thank you to all of you for tuning in. Thank you for Bob for making the commitment here. We spent the last hour and a half together. Thank you to Jens for being our special guest of honor and for sticking around with us. And Sarah, Rodney, we'll have a chat tomorrow about your absence. All right. With that said, folks, thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye, everybody.